Good morning, everyone. Hey, hi, hello. Today it's like really humid. I've been recording for precisely 40 seconds and I am literally already starting to sweat. So, we love that heat advisory for us and the humidity. There's also like a million and one mosquitoes flying around me, so needless to say, the filming conditions are good today. I haven't recorded on the back porch in a minute. There's been like some stuff going on with my neighborhood, and so like recording back here has just like not been possible. But honestly, I've been kind of missing it. I feel like I'm back in my element, I'm back in my zone. So this one's actually coming at me a little bit differently. As I've been tackling my relationship sort of with myself and what my past relationships have been trying to teach me about myself, teach me about what I'm expecting from other friends, teach me about how I want to move forward with other friends, I've heard myself say it a lot, but I haven't exactly reflected on that. And that has been remembering without resentment, specifically from the line of when does reminiscing start to become resentful and stuck in the past? We've talked a lot about my priority of moving forward when you end friendships. If you've been following the series, then you know, as I've been going through this time, while obviously I think it's important to reflect on the stories that you have and share the truth about the way you were feeling, the problems that I had with these people has honestly been so long gone over that it's just like kind of clear that's not the issue anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we haven't been in communication since March 23rd of this year. Nothing that happened prior to March 23rd is still so on my mind as an individual pressing issue that I feel like I should be thinking about it, you know? But as I say, like I've been saying it a lot, over the last probably month, if not at least a couple of weeks, these people have been on my mind. Besides being a girly with OCD, I do struggle with thought looping. I can get very stuck. I have a really hard time letting it go until I have processed that memory or event or whatever. I will admit, in a very specific way, this very specific way of processing it has been about understanding when there's no more lessons to be learned, but you won't stop ruminating and trying to remember and trying to unpack. We go from learning the lesson to resentment from people in your past who are supposed to stay in your past. You don't want this person to be in your present. This person is in your past. And you don't want them to be in your life. And yet you are carrying them with you all the time, making them in your present, making the ghost of someone your current issue. We talked about block theory over on Diary of a Doom Scroller, but I still think that it has a solid place here. That when you start lingering in your memories, in the past, in what was, we allow ourselves to start building resentment because our lives are meant to be lived in the present. You don't live in the past, you lived in the past. That was done, that was over. It's a new day, it's a new moment, right? Certainly, the past is still important and we still remember, and there's something to say about that. But there also is something to say about how resentment is actually created, how being stuck is actually manifested. It is us living in the past, feeling that our present has been unjustly altered. And while I don't think that that's not necessarily true, right? We got to be really careful about not getting into the toxic, positive, woo-woo side of things where we tell ourselves that we can control everything, and as long as we just manifest a positive mindset, our lives will be positive. I know we got to stay away from that, but I also think it's important to really chew on that and think about, what does that mean to you? My life is quieter today than it was 2 years ago, but has my life really been unfairly altered and changed and borderline destroyed just because I am not in contact with a few people anymore, I don't think I would be wrong to say, like, but those people were so close to me. Yes, they were. Like, we're talking bestie level, okay? I thought that I was going to be friends with these people for the entirety of my life. So, yes, it has changed. And I think that that's a fair response to the question. But it's like, but is your life ruined because you're not in community with them anymore? Okay, no. It has changed. It's gotten quieter. I spend a lot of time at home talking to myself, editing myself, talking to myself. Yeah, I don't have the same life that I once did. I'm not being invited to brunch or dinners or shopping. I don't do a lot of that. Honestly, the most frequent place that I go right now is the gym. It's true. My life has changed a lot. And I think at one point, that was really hard. But did it alter my life or did I just move on with my life? What do you guys think about my no eyebrows? And so I say that to say that I think where I am right now is trusting myself to say, like, yes, you got the context of the situation correctly. You can offer these people a little bit more grace and consider their context if you want to. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also think it's okay to answer the never-ending anxiety thought with, yeah, you got it right. You read it right. I think you're doing what you need to be doing. It sucks, but I think you read it right. We talked about it quite some time ago, but we did talk about remembering without resentment as a specific topic in the series. I will link it down below if you are interested. But when I was talking about that, I said a lot of times when I think of these people, I will say out loud, I wish you the best, girl. I miss you. I love what we, did together. I wish you the absolute best. Move forward, my dear. And I absolutely love that because I do think that it has directly fought my sort of like neurotic anxiety mind, right? But something that I am ready to start embracing is remembering without responding. Obviously, I think that it's fine to wish people from my past well, and I'm not saying that I'm doing something wrong by doing that, but I also realize that there needs to come a point in time where thinking about these people does not evoke such a visceral response within me that I feel like I have to go down the rabbit hole of the conversation, right? Even if it's just to get to I wish you the best, it's like I would like to get to a point where I'm like, yeah, I know what I remember. It's perfectly fine. I don't have to rehash the entire situation, and I don't even have to wish these people well if I don't feel like it. I don't have to respond. I don't have to respond to this thought. I don't have to get into a whole conversation with this thought. Let it go. Oh, can't reach you. You're so close, can't reach you. I let you go. And so as I move forward from just challenging the negative thoughts so that I don't move forward with like a sour mind, I think it's time to allow the thoughts to cross your mind, and that's as much effort and like mental energy that you're giving the situation. You're not having the thought and then having the discourse and then having a thought on the discourse and then like remembering back on something and then like trying to stop that whole cycle and be like, oh, I wish you well. You can wish people well without putting a lot of thought into them. You can wish people well without looping. Stop taking up my space. This is my space. And I left your space to come be in my space. So like, I wish you the best from the get. Not, I wish you well and I am ruminating on our old friendship. Not, I wish you well and I still have questions that I want answered. So I thought just to wrap things up, we could check out a couple pages from The Reflecting Pond. They have a chapter on listening and sharing. I was going through the book last night and I was like, oh, I think these are kind of nice. So as always, take what you need, leave what you don't. If it resonates with you, it was always yours to begin with. To assume what other people are thinking or feeling without asking them is to invite misunderstanding. Just as disastrous is to assume other people know what we want or need without telling them. Many potentially good friendships and marriages perish because of our false assumptions and our lack of honest communication. Do we assume others can't live without us or wouldn't know what to think or feel unless we told them? Do we assume that others don't have time for us or don't care about us if they don't call or go out of their way to talk to us? Do we think others can read our minds without ever opening our mouths? Since we can only assume the same limited or distorted thoughts of others that we have of ourselves, we need to take the initiative to ask probing questions and give honest responses in our relationships. I've found that many of my painful experiences with others are often the result of past memories, stated a friend. Often, I'm not reacting so much to what's going on between me and the other person right at the time. I'm responding to some previous wound or hurt from my past that hasn't quite healed. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Just the other day, a friend of mine said she needed some time to herself and didn't want to see me for a week. And rather than accepting her statement, I was hurt. I immediately thought of a past friendship I had helped destroy by being too possessive and demanding. I thought I was making the same mistake again, and that my present girlfriend was trying to get rid of me too. It's giving anxious attachment style, is it not? I felt so defeated I couldn't respond. I just sat there stunned and tried not to cry. My friend was uncomfortable with my change in attitude, but since I wasn't able to communicate what I was feeling, she left feeling at loose ends too. I had enough sense to call her and share my unsettling feelings a day or two after the experience, and I found that my friend wasn't rejecting me at all. She really just needed some time to herself. Today, I will not allow past painful memories to cripple my current relationships. When I am hurt or confused, I will talk out my feelings and reactions before I make harsh criticisms or assume another's motives. So I really like that. It was short, it was sweet, and I really do think it supported everything that I've been going through and I've been feeling. And I really love the call out of assumption. I think it's really important to remember that when we assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And especially with remembering my friends or having those never ending questions and that I want context to. For me to fill in some of those answers would be for me to assume. And I think that out of respect for the friendships that I did have and out of trying to remember these people as closely to their authentic selves as I am limitedly capable of doing, I do not have a right to fill in answers for why our friendships ended, for why so-and-so acted this way, for why she did this or that. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not her. And so that is where I do feel like not only am I learning how to release the feelings on the memories entirely a little bit better, obviously never perfect or entirely, but I also think that I am being a little bit more gracious and giving them a little bit more grace of their context by not deciding that I know what it is and coming up with my own assumed version of what happened. I think this is a really good stopping place. If you made it this far, thank you so much, baddie. Big ups to you. Go ahead and leave me a sparkle emoji down in the comments. Spread the energy, spread the word. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will reflect in the next one.